I came across a quote of yours that said, when I stopped fighting for myself and started fighting for others, I felt passion, I felt purpose. And that's what led to my greatest impact. I mean, to me, Justin, that's real compelling words coming from a former MMA fighter, an elite performer. You know, the accolades go on and on. 5-time All-American, 2-time national champion, 10-time state champion. But the fight that had you fighting for others is where you found your most impact. Can you respond to that?
Yeah, thank you. First, I already know just by how thoughtful your question is that this is going to be fun. This is going to be a great podcast. So thank you for having me on. I'm really grateful. Yeah, so fighting is all about generating impact, right? Whether that's with a punch, a knee, an elbow, a kick, whether that's with a takedown and a slam, you know, we're wanting to generate impact. But man, I never could have imagined the path or the trajectory life would take me on. And so I would much rather, like, it was a light bulb moment for me. I would much rather have a greater impact on this world or in people's lives than on one opponent or one opponent at a time. And so I took a big break from fighting, and then I made a comeback. And when I made the comeback, everything was just different. It was just different because I wasn't just fighting for myself. I was fighting to win, get the microphone, tell a people group story that adopted me in, that calls me family, that gave me names and that I just loved. And we're going to drill a water well. So it just completely changed when I made that comeback, because looking my opponent in the eyes, that's the moment of truth. When you hear the cage door literally lock on the amateur level, your first pro fight, the first big show under the big lights on the big stage, like, that's the moment of truth that can literally paralyze guys with fear, because you hear that lock and there's no escape. And whenever I could look these guys in the eyes, it shifted, it flipped, where it was, I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me. And it was a different kind of mindset where it's like, you're not doing what I'm trying to do. We're going to drill a water well. We're going to bring people clean water. It's going to be life-changing, potentially life-saving, beautiful, clean, crisp, clean water for the very first time in these communities that I know, love, and want to help, because they've helped me so much. They changed my life. In many ways, they saved my life. So I went through this period of addiction, depression, 2 times going to treatment, 2 times having a suicide attempt, both real deal suicide attempts. And so I found purpose through service. And one of the things that I guess raised the stakes or raised the bar of necessity of why it matters to win, and win this fight called life, was I held a young boy in my hands, Andy Bo, and I buried him. And I bought the shovel, I bought the casket. Like, we can go into that at greater lengths if we need to, but or want to. But man, like, that's where the passion and purpose of service through knocking out the water crisis came from. Was actually not just seeing it or hearing about it, but holding it. And I knew making that comeback, like, and now, like, it's still there, right? It's life after fighting and impact, generating impact, and how can it go on and on and on sustainably?
You know, I'm just present to the passion and the transformation, and there's so much to unpack there. You said the light bulb went off, and the world today, if you look at it through a certain lens, whether it's social media, cable TV, the news, whether it's, you know, on a newspaper or wherever, things are going to hell in a handbasket. And while I'm not in denial and I don't want to avoid reality and what's so in the world, I would say on a whole that, you know, things are better than they were yesterday for the world. And you talk about water, and we take it for granted here. You know, people call it first world problems or uptown problems. We take that for granted. And when there's a lot of catastrophizing and, you know, the glass half empty, and, you know, we could go on and on. You, I can find ourselves searching and reaching for love, for connection, for that connective tissue, for ways to make a difference.